Good afternoon, everyone. This is Mike O'Malley here with the Hurricane Outlook and discussion for September 9th, 2021, recorded around 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Not too much to talk about today, but a look at Hurricane Larry out there near Bermuda and a few more storms that will be trying to develop over the next several days. So let's go and jump straight into everything. Taking a wide look across the tropical Atlantic this afternoon, we noticed that we still have ongoing Hurricane Larry out here, now well to the east of Bermuda, although tropical storm conditions are being felt on the island of Bermuda. We also have what will soon be the remnants of Tropical Depression Mindy, which is located out here just off the coast here of South Carolina and Georgia. This was a short-lived tropical storm as of yesterday, made landfall near Apalachicola and Tallahassee, and now moved over the Florida Peninsula and is now sitting off the United States southeast coast. No real threat for this to develop any further. Again, strong upper-level winds, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. We got another system down across here, 30% chance of development in this tropical wave here with a 60% chance over the next several days. So if we look here at the visible satellite imagery, we can tell here on Hurricane Larry that, again, the storm today is looking a little bit better organized than it has been over the last several days. First of all, we have more of a banding structure, more central dense overcast today than what we had yesterday during this time. We notice that there is a little bit of an eye depression in here, which means that, again, there is still that formative, or not really a formative, but kind of a ragged eye structure that is evident in the storm. There's a little bit of dry air being pulled around on the southern side and trying to rotate in. And over the next few days, this dry air will kind of win the battle. If we take a look here at the the water vapor satellite imagery, we notice today that the storm is much more defined in the outflow pattern. We have some pretty robust outflow even on the eastern side now. But we notice that southern extent is a little bit lacking, and that is because, again, we do have some shear from this upper level disturbance that is over here, and this broad upper level low is imparting a little bit of shear on the southern side here, which is helping to limit the outflow on that south side, but is also expanding the outflow here on the northern side, combined with an approaching upper level trough. So over the next few days, Larry is expected to be moving generally off towards kind of the northwest and then eventually off towards the northeast during the next several days. And Larry is expected to come awfully close to the Canadian Maritimes and Atlantic Canada here, where there is a hurricane watch that is in effect for portions of the area here. And this is as a result that this could be making landfall as a potential hurricane. Now, this will be on its way to transitioning from a true tropical cyclone into this upper level cyclone over here. But it is entirely possible that this could become, that this could be still a hurricane upon landfall here in Atlantic Canada. And for that reason, there is hurricane watches and tropical storm watches for the area. Sustained winds right now near 90 miles per hour. We also have a tropical storm warning for the island of Bermuda, as some tropical storm conditions are expected throughout the day today. Now, the main thing that's been steering the storm during the last several days has been this upper level ridge to the north, and this ridge has generally been guiding the storm towards the west-northwest like such. Now that the ridge is a little bit north here, we actually have more of a steering flow that is now changing to kind of north-northwest, along with this approaching trough here. And this trough is now beginning to turn the storm generally towards the north-northwest like such, and then eventually we'll be connecting it northeast. And most of the models today are in decent agreement that there will be a landfall here in Atlantic Canada, and this could be a very dangerous effect here. Again, the storm will be transitioning into a post-tropical cyclone, but will still bring some heavy rainfall, gusty winds, and storm surge with it. So these are very real threats to the area. Now, the other main thing here is that there will be some very significant wave heights starting this time. Wave heights could exceed over 35 feet just off the coastline here, and dangerous rip current conditions will be felt all the way down here through portions of the Lesser Antilles and, of course, the United States East Coast from the swells of this storm. And those rip currents can and have killed people in the past. So if you live along the coastline anywhere from Florida to really Maine and New England, all the way down to the Lesser Antilles, it is something to kind of keep an eye on during the next several days and just be mindful of your local beach forecasts. Now, turning our attention back out to the remnants here of Mindy, again, this is now quickly becoming a remnant circulation. You notice that most of the convection now is getting sheared off towards the northwest, or I'm sorry, the northeast. And again, a large part of that is because this front that's backing through here, you can kind of see that this is now beginning to be tangled up in a front. All of these little cumulus clouds here, these are agitated cumulus clouds, and these are firing right along the front. Drier, more stable air behind it, and cooler conditions are also behind this. So it is now getting entangled up in a front. Still some heavy weather down here across portions of the Florida Peninsula during the day today. We've had some gusts that have recently been measured over about 30 knots or so. So we're getting winds closer to about 40, 45 miles per hour with some of the squally conditions and gusts that come through in those heavier rain bands. Today and tomorrow will be one of the big days for Florida. There is a marginal risk for severe storms tomorrow across portions of the eastern Florida Peninsula for those damaging wind gusts as well. Now, what could be happening during the next several weeks? Well, we could take a quick look at what might be happening here. This is, I found this from Andy Hazelton over on Twitter. That's why the black line is there. But right now, again, we have a suppressed phase of the Kelvin wave that is going to be passing over. And again, this is generally going to be unsupportive for tropical cyclone development during the next week or so. But we could have yet another pass here in through kind of the middle part of September. You can kind of see where this burst is right here in the green and blue. This indicates rising air in the atmosphere. And this is one of the things that is a little bit more supportive for tropical cyclone genesis. We also notice that, again, we kind of see that return of the standing wave over Africa in about mid-September, so within the next couple of days or so. So it would not really be surprising to see more activity come out during the next couple of weeks or so. And again, we will probably shut things down once again towards the end of September before a final burst occurs, probably sometime in mid-October, looking at the long-range models. Now, is anything popping up on the GFS forecast? Well, we can see this on the 850 millibar vorticity map. This is the spin in the atmosphere at 5,000 feet off the ground. And for context here, these darker reds here, this is indicative of higher cyclonic spin in the atmosphere. So we notice here's the remnants here of Mindy, and this is now Hurricane Larry. Again, both of these systems will be moving away over the next several days. Again, direct landfall possible for Atlantic Canada. We continue to monitor the threat for some type of system to form out here in the Bay of Campeche or extreme southern Gulf of Mexico. There is some hints that a Central American gyre could be setting up here, and something may form out of this, and the Hurricane Center has tagged this as a 30% chance of development during the next several days or so. And we can also see where a new tropical wave might try to develop. This still has a 60% chance, so they are kind of bullish on this, although most of the modeling doesn't really try to develop that. But then you can kind of see that more things develop in the very long range down here. And this is where we would start to turn our attention by September 18th. Again, the climatological peak of the hurricane season is tomorrow. And we'll be watching for this area down the road over the next several days. We look here at the European. Again, the European is a little bit more robust with development chances down here, both in the Bay of Campeche and off the coast here. We can go back to the 0Z run here, and we can kind of see, again, just how that kind of compares. Again, this is the 0Z. Not really much, but again, we'll be watching for development chances. And again, even out in the long range here, we still get these waves coming off of Africa. So we will have to watch for the next several days to just kind of see how everything kind of gets itself going. But again, I'm not really overly concerned about any substantial impacts, at least during the next couple of days, except for Atlantic Canada with the potential landfall of Hurricane Larry. All right. So with that being said, I hope you all have a great rest of your afternoon and evening. Of course, I am Mike O'Malley. I'll talk to you guys again some more tomorrow.